Hi, this is Lara at Elliott Wave Gold with your end of the week analysis for the trading week ending Friday 9th of May. I was expecting downward movement for Friday. I was expecting to see a longer red candlestick. I thought that we would move sideways first, and that's what took up most of Friday's session, completing a small doji. So now I'm expecting Monday and maybe Tuesday as well to show up on the daily chart as longer red candlesticks. The short-term target for downward movement is 1267. Let's have a look at the charts. The main wave count at the daily chart level expects that primary wave 4 is an incomplete, huge combination. Primary 2 is a running flat, so primary 4 is likely to show structural alternation. If it's a combination, there would be nice structural alternation between them. The first structure in the double was a zigzag, so the second structure would most likely be a flat correction, but it may also be a triangle. If we don't get downward movement to the minimum requirement for a flat, then I'll consider the least likely possibility that intermediate wave Y is unfolding as a triangle. But a flat is much more likely because they are much more common structures, so that's what I'll expect. That's how we'll label it. Flat subdivide 3, 3, 5, and I'll expect intermediate wave Y to end about 1434. That's where intermediate wave W ended, because the purpose of combinations is to take up time and move price sideways, so the second structure in a double usually ends about the same level as the first. Primary wave 4 may not move into primary wave 1 price territory above 1532.90. If intermediate wave Y is a flat, then the B wave within it must reach a minimum 90% the length of the A wave at 1201.98. At 1200.89, minute wave C would reach equality in length with minute wave A, so that's our target for downward movement to end. While price remains within this sideways moving range that it's been within for the last 20 odd days, I'll leave the invalidation point up here until we get a clear breakout. If minute B continues, it can't move beyond the start of A above 1392.30. We could also relabel this downward wave WXY. It makes no difference to the expected downward direction and the minimum requirement, but it makes a difference to how we see the structure. I'm expecting it's most likely to be an impulse for a C wave, but it could also be a single zigzag for a Y wave of a WXY double zigzag for minor wave B, because this wave subdivides both as a 535 zigzag and an impulse. Let's look at the start of minute C here, this point here. So far we don't have a clear 5 down on the hourly chart. If we get that tomorrow, I will have a lot more confidence in this wave count, and although I'll have full confidence if price moves below 1273.43, if we get a nice clear 5 down on the hourly chart first, I'll still have a lot of confidence in this wave count. It looks really typical. So far we have 1, 2, a clear third wave showing a nice increase in momentum, a fourth wave where MACDs come back up to touch the zero line. We need to see a fifth wave down complete. MACD should show some increase in momentum, but not as strong as that for the third wave. Importantly, there's no Fibonacci ratio between subminuet waves 1 and 3, so I will be expecting to see a ratio for the fifth wave. The most likely would be equality in length with the third, so that's the target at 1267, and that might bring the fifth wave to sit on the midline of this parallel channel. Draw this channel using Elliott's first technique with the first trend line from 1 to 3, then place a copy on 2. Upwards movement has slightly overshot the channel, but it's not a clear proper breach. I expect downward movement is likely to go back into the channel and remain in there for another day or so while we get a nice clear 5 down to complete the final fifth wave. That's all for me today with your gold analysis, and I hope that all our members are having a fabulous weekend.